Hi everyone, Grandma from Forever Health Studios. Today I'm going to take you through a body weight and resistance band workout. We're going to start with standing exercises, move down to the floor, do some of our core based and leg based workout, and then finish off with some legs at the end. Want to make sure that with any of the exercises that if they are a little bit too challenging for yourself, wait till you can join back in again, and please work to the level that is the best of your ability. So we're going to start off with a nice warm up. I just want us to nice and comfortably open and close through our chest. So from there we're going to open up through my palms, just allow my chest to lift up, stomach drawn in, nice and comfortably open and close. We'll do a few more of those, and we're going to move on to our shoulder rolls. So from there relax the shoulders, shoulders up, back and down, up, back and down. So getting a nice smooth rotation, just making sure these upper traps here, we just make sure we keep them more relaxed. So we're not really tensing them too much, but getting good movement through the shoulders. We'll go one more, and relax. Nice and comfortably shaking out through the hands. We're going to do small circles forwards, keeping the upper shoulders again, once again relaxed. Nice tall chest position. So keeping the knees nice and soft, feet nice and balanced. We'll do small circles backwards. Again, nice control through those upper shoulders, and then relax and just gently shake them out and open up through the chest once more. From here we're going to move into stretching through our mid part of our back, our thoracic spine. So we'll go chin nod down, and we're going to go nice gentle round, so round position through stretching through the shoulder blades. We'll take a gentle breath in, we'll breathe out. So we lift our chest up, stomach in, and then open up through our chest. Allowing the arms and shoulders to rotate back rather than twisting from the elbows. Chin nod down, breathe out to open up. There's a nice movement through our chest and shoulders. Let's go one more. And from there we're going to move a nice comfortable rotation through our chest, shoulders and hips. Allow the hips and legs to rotate as well. Head and shoulders to rotate with our chest. Okay, 3, 2 and 1. Now from here, if you're comfortable standing and marching on the spot, please do. Otherwise you can sit on a chair and do the same movement. Completely up to you. From that position, just warm up those hip flexors. Nice and tall. What you can do is take them across your body as well. It allows us to stretch across the hips. Very good. An important part of our daily movement is to make sure that we also work on our balance, because that helps our stability through our body. What I'd like us to do is you're going to stand on, if we start with our right leg, hover your left foot just off the floor. If you feel you lose your balance, you touch down straight away. Please don't want to see any wobbling as such. We're going to train the brain to keep the stability. Onto the left leg, lift that right foot just off the floor. Once you held that for about 2 seconds, you can move on to the other leg. If you're feeling more comfortable with that, you can step further and hold. Step further and hold. What you find on a harder surface is slightly easier for us to balance, and on a softer surface, our foot and ankle has to work a little bit harder. So hold that balance, step across, hold the balance. Excellent. Now what we're going to do with the next one, just going to get those legs so you can hold on to something on this position if you choose. So from that position you can get our legs just to swing forward and backwards, or hold on to something and just get those hips to open up and close. But a good idea is for you to focus on the spot in front of us whilst you hold the balance and create a nice swing, rhythmical movement through that leg. Excellent. Let's go a few more and then we'll finish off, and then we're going to roll down, go into our roll downs and into our next position. So from there you've got two options. You can go chin nod down to a lovely stretch, feel like you're pushing through your feet to lift yourself back up. Or we're going to go from that position down, bend your knees, walk your hands out into a press up position, and from that position walk yourself up, bend the knees, push to the floor and back up. Whichever option you choose, you can go down, keep the knees soft, and back up. Chin nod down. Walk your hands out in front of you, press up position, and back up. Let's finish off with one more. And once you get down to the floor, I'll take you into a nice stretch through the mid part of our backs. So once you're on the floor, from there we'll take a general breath in, breathe out to come up, breathe in to come back down. It's a nice comfortable stretch. Remember from here is the stretch going up, we'll make sure that it's comfortable rather than overstretching it, because the joints in the back, we don't want to create too much stretch through that, because you'll be uncomfortable or feel like your spine's really stiff because we overstretched it. So more of a mobility, gentle movement up and down is more important. Let's keep going. 3, 2, and 1. You remain in this position. You can feel like you sat back into your glutes a little bit. What I'd like you to do is open up. So right hand in front of you, open up your right palm facing the ceiling. Now, if your shoulder feels uncomfortable, you lift up more to the side. The more comfortable you are, you can lift that more in front of us. So draw the tummy in. We're going to lift the arm up as far as we can and then bring it back down. We'll do 2 or 3 on each side. So from there, stomach draws in, lift up and then back down, and we're going to swap sides. So from there, stomach in. If you find that your shoulder's really tight or weak in certain areas, you'll only just be able to lift it up. So that's okay, but in time we'll be able to improve to lift it up higher. So draw the tummy in and up. I think when I first started, quite a few years ago, I could barely lift my arm up because of how stiff and dysfunctional my shoulder was. Stomach in, lift up and back down, up and back down, up and back down. Let's finish off with one last set on the opposite arm. That's it. Really make sure the tummy pulls in as we lift, tummy pulls in as we lift. Once we've done that again, we're just going to just gently stretch through the spine, up and down. Okay, we're going to move on to our back, but what I'd like you to do is, if you grab your band, and I've got just a nice comfortable band that's sort of just a lighter band to start with, because ultimately we're going to make sure that we feel comfortable. We can always increase the resistance in time. So I'm just going to place this comfortably over my knees. To start with, we're just going to work on some pelvic tilt. So I'm going to draw my tummy in, flatten my lower back, create a gentle tilt just to allow us to stretch out that lower back, and then slowly back down. Tummy pulls in, creates a gentle tilt, and then back down. So big concentration, get your heels right up towards you, draw the tummy in. You can put a little bit of pressure out into the band, so I don't mind switching on the side of the glutes, and from there we're going to come up. Tummy's in, and then we're going to hinge back down, draw the tummy in, lift up, and then back down. So as a warm up, just a gentle bit of pressure out into your band, just ever so slightly engaging it. You can do is take your hands over your head, and then back down, hands over your head, and then back down. So nice and smoothly up and down. If we go for another 3 of those, and then what we're going to do is we're going to come up and we're going to hold the third one, and as we get to the top, we're just going to squeeze out into the band a little bit more. So we'll come up on the third one, and then we're going to squeeze out. So feel the side of those glutes working, feel the tummy working. We're going to hold that for 30 seconds. So good concentration on that position. Squeezing those glutes out. Tummy draws in, you can squeeze the glutes to open up a little bit more, really feel like they're working. Tummy controlling our lower back. We've got another 10 seconds remaining. We'll bring our knees back to our neutral position. We're going to lower our hips down nice and slowly. So hips, knees back to neutral, and then back down. If we just come up and down a few more, just see how those hips feel. And then we're going to move on to our side. So I'd like us to do onto our side. We'll keep the band in the same position just above the knees. And what we're going to do from there is you're going to lift the legs up. Use the tummy And from there you can create a little bit of resistance in the legs as I rotate backwards and forwards. Now for some of us, we might just want to lift up and down, that's absolutely fine. But if you want to make it a little more challenging, we're going to lift up, create a bit of resistance into the band, feel those hips working, and then from there what we're going to do is rotate right and left. So just from there, now you can rotate forward, and if you're really feeling comfortable, you can rotate more onto your back. Okay, but the control is trying to feel like you're using your body as one movement back and as one movement to the sides. It can keep the pressure through the band, so you feel those hips working. We're going to go for another 5 seconds, 30 seconds on each side, and from there we'll lower those legs down nice and slowly. We're going to move on to the other side. We'll lie comfortably onto our sides again. Give you another few seconds to get ready. Remember, from there you can lift your legs up and down, or you can lift up, hold, rotate backwards and forwards. Our time starts now. So from there, using our stomach and core to rotate forward and backwards. Create a bit of tension into the band. If you make it a little bit harder, that's absolutely fine. Feel that control. So really keeping that stomach drawn in as even if I'm lifting up from side to side, I'm really controlling it through my stomach. Make it your last one, all the way back, and then drop back down. Very good. Okay, we're going to move on to our backs. What I'd like us to do from here is we're going to bring our knees up to 90 degrees. Now, ideally that needs to come a little bit more towards your chest, just because it allows us to use our stomach more. If we drop like that there, and our tummy is stretched, then that could allow us to use our back a little bit more. So from there you can put a little bit of pressure out onto the bands, just so you feel like the outside of these legs are controlling that movement. And from here what I'm going to do is going to do an opposite arm, opposite leg reach. So as I reach my right leg away, I take my left arm away, and same with the other side. Now, when I'm stretching out my left leg, I'm putting my right knee up towards me, and then from that position, so creating stretch, back up, stretch. Really feeling that stomach. Occasionally the band sort of wants to come down a touch, you can reset it back up again, reach as we come on. So create a nice control through that position. Bear in mind you can do it partial reach with the leg completely to what level you feel most comfortable. We're going to go for another 10 seconds. So big control through that position. All depends on the level which you feel most comfortable with. Finish off with that last one and bring your knees up towards your chest. We're going to roll from side to side. Really, really good. And 3, 2, and 1. Lower our legs down one at a time. You can remove the bands for the next exercise. At least I'd like you to move the bands off for the next exercises. And from here we're going to go into, I'm going to give you a few options on this one. You can either go into a kneeling position depending on how you feel your shoulders, and from there you can go up and down, or if you choose you can go into that position there where you're holding your shoulders into that position, onto a kneeling position, that's absolutely fine, or full position. So if you go in kneeling position you can alternate which leg you straighten out, or even onto your elbows in that position. The idea from there is to keep the stomach nice and tight. Now the most advanced one, you can start if you feel comfortable. Most advanced one would be from that position to lift our legs straight, but keep our shoulders locked in. Bear in mind from there, if we can keep our knees soft, that'll be good. Using our stomach, keeping our shoulders nicely stable. Now ultimately, if you feel like the advanced one's feeling too much, move back down towards the elbows. That's absolutely fine. So big concentration on that one. So from there, if you need a breather, go back down whenever you feel ready for that one. That's absolutely fine. We can go into that position or full position. 10 seconds. Last one. We're going to go down and from that position just stretch out through the spine and back. Comfortably back and forward. That's it. 3, 2, and 1. We'll return onto our backs. Now what I'd like us to do with this exercise is our hands are going to be onto our thighs, and we're going to be reaching up towards our knees. But the focus on here is first we're going to draw our tummy and flatten our lower back and feel like our stomach lifts our chest and head off the floor rather than lifting up from the neck. So it doesn't matter how far we go up, it more depends on how well we control this position. So our time starts now, tummy draws in, we lift up and then back down. Pull my spine down towards the floor, and from that position use my stomach to lift me up and down. So real concentration through our obliques. It's a much easier one for us to work on where I feel like I want to lift from the head, but please feel like the initiation from the stomach. And again, if I'm pulling up from that position, pulling up and just reaching my hands up to there, but everything's coming from my stomach, that's absolutely spot on. I'd much rather less range of motion, more control, than us forcing other muscles to create the movement for us. We're really focusing on using predominantly the stomach muscles to lift us up towards our knees. Okay, we're going to go 10 more seconds. Make this your last one. And then back down. From there, I'd like your hands behind your head. Now, I've got a few options on this one here. If I lift my tummy, head and shoulders up and turn my head across to that way, or turn my chest across to that way, I start to use the muscle on the side of the obliques. What you can do is you can lift your head and chest up, and as I'm coming up, you can bring your left knee up towards you whilst my right elbow travels towards my left knee. From there, lift my head and shoulders up. As I'm turning my chest towards the right side, my right knee comes up towards my left elbow. So the big focus is on the stomach. Please make sure that my head's staying really comfortable and not pulling from my head. So up, rotate, back down. Up, rotate, back down. Really, the first thing is remember tummy pulls in. Tummy pulls in, turn my chest, pull that knee up. Turn my chest, pull that knee up. That will really get those obliques going. We're going to do another 10 seconds on that exercise, and then we're going to move into a standing position. Finish off with the last one. And then from there, just relax nice and comfortably. You can just get your legs just to rotate right and left, just to stretch out through those obliques with the shoulders locked into the floor. And 3, 2, and 1. And from there we'll come into a standing position. Now with the next few exercises, you can use your band if you choose to. So I'm just going to grab my band and then I'm just going to place it around my legs. If you feel more comfortable seated, putting your band on, please do. You're just going to get the side of those glutes working. So what I'd like us to do, you're going to go a nice wide stance with our feet turned out to roughly around 11 and 1 o'clock. So turn out into that position. And what we're looking for here is looking for a hinge from the hips using my stomach, and then squeezing and open up through the glutes. So you're hinging back down and then squeeze to open up. So the key here is when I'm hinging over, I'm over my toes, knees are nice and soft, and I'm opening up, hinging through the hips. So we're going to go down and open up. Now, one thing is making sure that we're hinging from the hips and not hinging from the back. So So they hinge through the hips as if I'm sitting into a chair, and from that position I feel like I'm pushing through the floor to lift my hips up. So comfortably open and close. Breathe in, breathe out, breathe in, breathe out. As I'm opening up, I'm drawing my tummy in, so that allows me to avoid me from hinging off my spine. Really important for us to get that hinge in that right position. Let's go a couple more. Now what we're going to do is we're going to go wide squat again. Knees, you're going to feel like the knees are pushing out into the band. What I like to do from there, I'm going to sit into my glutes, toes in contact, heels in contact, and push to the floor to come up. So side view. First things first, toes in contact. As I sit my bum back, then my knees bend, push to the floor to come back up. Now if I get my timing right and I push through the floor, my knees and my hips, the timing is a lot smoother. Just be mindful that the knees lock out, then the hips open up. Then we know our timing needs to improve. So we're going to go down, up. Only go as far as you feel comfortable. So if you're going to do a partial squat, that's absolutely fine. If you want to go deeper, keep your chest nice and tall, push through the floor and come up, down, drop. By pushing those bands out there, you get the outside of those glutes really switched on. We go for another 10 seconds on that exercise. Last one. And relax. Okay. We're going to go on to next exercise, a side lunge movement. So what I'd like us to do is we're going to actually stand on that right foot. We're going to reach that left leg away. The key here is the moment I reach back, rather than sitting into my knee, I'm sitting into my glute. So the movement is that movement. So really allow me to sit over. If I was going to sit into a chair, I'd sit that glute back out. So that's the movement I'm after. Okay? So we're going to do that for 45 seconds, starting now. You could do a partial one where I'm just stepping partially. You could do a bigger movement where I'm really set. But the key here is I'm staying on this right leg, getting that glute to work, making sure my knee keeps nice and straight, because that knee's going to want to drop in, because as I do that, that's going to want to move that way. So that knee remains straight, even if you want to create a bit of resistance into your band. 10 seconds. Last one, and back up, and swap sides. Time starts now. So from there, remember the first movement is sit into that glute. And if you feel like too much, you could just do a partial and do a step. This is a big enough movement. If we control that knee nice and straight, that can really get this side of that glute working, so that's absolutely fine. If you go a little bit further, it means it's got to hinge further forward. So I've got to hinge further forward if I'm reaching a little bit further. 10 seconds. 3, 2, 1, and relax. Nice and comfy. You're going to walk those legs out to finish off. So you're going to stand onto my right leg, lift the left leg up, and then just alternate, keeping a nice, lovely, tall posture through that position. That's it, get those hips working. Let's go a few more, please, to finish off with.